In this area here, I found these very bizarre spiral objects. One there, one that's turning around there. On the hill there, there's like eggs there. Are these a type of a growth or a cactus or a worm, or what is it? There's one up right there. I'll actually enlarge these pictures and zoom in, but there's just too many. Now, these are the lowest areas where you would have any life form if there's any moisture still obviously trapped there in the soil, like we found those ponds before. Now, I haven't seen an area like this before. You've got all these tubular things which don't look like rocks. There's one down there. Now I'll try to enlarge these. That's a clump of rocks. This is bizarre as well. It just sticks up. Look at it. Obviously it could be a rock. And here's three little ones. One's got its head up. It looks like a growth. And here's one just coming over there around the edge. So they could be growths. Surely would have some sort of life form there where there's plenty of soil. There's moisture that collects in ponds, and also plenty of sunlight. So that seems to be coming over. There's a shadow underneath. There's a white one there. These are things I'll try to enlarge. There's one white one there. And that's a very interesting shape. It's just coming out of the ground there. That's a very large one there. Now, could they be some sort of worm-like creature? The moisture's under the soil, so it'd have to burrow under the soil to survive and capture the moisture. You got one there. Little ones there. See what I mean? Like, even when you look at that, there's all these tuberous things growing up or sideways, like that thing sticking up. Actually, I'll take a picture of that. Hey, there's 3 or 4 or 5 here actually on that rock ledge. Right there, they look like eggs. There's a little crawl in that thing there. I'm trying to find the crawl marks obviously in the soil. There's quite a few crawl marks there by the looks of it. So here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes right over the rock there. There seem to be some sort of growths that are actually on the surface, like some sort of tuberous, a fungus type of growth or something like that. So I'll just try and enlarge the pictures. And this shows bizarre things right there. They don't look like rocks. So I'll see if I can somehow process the pictures. Yeah, they somehow don't strike me as just being rocks. Here it is again, that process that comes over then goes down. It could be like some sort of plant life that attaches and obviously grows and absorbs moisture and sunlight and grows. Now to actually show you where we were, so you can look at it by yourself, especially that one sticking out and that white one there. So you just that view would be just find the edge of that black thing right there. So it's about there. You zoom on that rock ledge there. So it's the first time I've seen that. We haven't seen it close up, but obviously I've seen it now pretty far away. And it just warrants something as being alive or plant-like substance that grows over the rocks and cliffs. Here we have one more example of that very bright, looks like a pearl or piece of metal, or look at it, it's just sitting there, it's so bright. I'm not sure if it's type of crystal or a radioactive or whatever it is, but there it is. It's a perfect example, that one. It's very bright and luminous. I just saw something down here that just doesn't look right. Look at that. It's as though it's hiding under that rock ledge. And I've seen these shapes before. I'll try to enlarge that. Look at it. It comes over. Again, it could be a rock. I've seen many, many bizarre rocks there. Very unusual, but yeah, that one. In case you want to see where that bright one is, we've just lost it. Hold. There it is. So it's right at the edge. You'll see part of the camera there. See the rocks there, so it's right in the middle. Again, it's where the mountains stop, and you'll see that big rock from here. So you just zoom in this way, and there it is. So it's probably pretty large. Looks like a huge pearl or some sort of huge diamond. We'll analyze now the photos of these tuberous things actually that were actually there in the photographs. These were the ones. This was the one near one watering pond. It just looks like a big cactus or something like that rather than a rock. There's too many curves in it. Now, I don't think I can adjust the detail on this one. This was in the, I think, a watering pond, or the third one. It just doesn't look like a rock should look, but we've seen very bizarre rocks. This is actually working, so I'll take the highlights on the left, bring this to the right, and we do see what looks like a big type of cactus or something like that. Look at it. Let's see if I can adjust the exposure again. Color. Actually, that made it worse. See if we take it back to the original. Now the next picture shows a smaller one. It's like it just sticks up. It could be a rock, so I won't spend too much time on it. Some sort of crystal. Now this is where it gets a bit peculiar. This was the one on the ground. It looks like it's curved. It's again, it could be a crystal or just a quartz type of circular rock. There it is there. Obviously there's not too many of these that I found, so I won't spend too much time on it, but there it is. It just seems to twist and lift up. Now the ones we analysed near the big boulder in the video, there's one more, just sticks up. The ones there start to look pretty strange. Now there's something strange there. It's actually one's square and one's a right angle. These are just rocks actually. Again, they could be just rocks, which they probably are, but it's just an interesting shape. And we've seen heaps of strange shapes on Mars, especially the blue rocks. So there's nothing special there. There's that very bright white luminous thing in the soil. I really don't know what could produce such a bright object like this. It's like a metal or something similar. I found a few of those in the videos. Now this was on that boulder rock ledge. You see like white, they look like eggs actually. They're just located there. So they could be a type of cactus growth, or worst thing, they could be just normal quartz crystals. But it's strange how they're just there absorbing the sunlight, and they just look like eggs to me. See what I mean? Right there. So if you enlarge them, now the curvy stuff we saw near the this is one example there. It could be bizarre rock type, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Now this is a large one. It's just sort of very curved. I'll see if I can change it with the noise reduction. That's a good one. So it's just like a curved object laying there. Again, could be a rock. We can't say it's alive or a plant or anything. It's just the pictures are bizarre on their own, so that's why I bring them up. This one seems to curl over and come out that way. Noise reduction, color, exposure. So it looks like it's coming up out of that and then goes sideways. On its own, that doesn't prove much. And we might play around this bit here, but it could be a rock. This is interesting. This actually is standing up and curves to the left. It's also a white type of white rock. There we go. Can't do much else for that one. This is interesting because it comes out sideways as well. And then when you adjust the exposure, you get a little bit of a view of how that goes sideways. So they're just strange things. They could be crystalline formations. We can't prove one or the other. This is very interesting. It just sticks up. Looks like a beautiful crystal. We've seen stranger things, so there's nothing that fascinating with that one. These are three things that are sticking their heads up. I mean, I hate to use that word, but they're just there on the rock ledge. Not sure what they would be. They look like very bizarre rocks if they are rocks. So that's them there. On their own, I can't magnify that more. Here's a group of those curly, bizarre things on the mountain surface. So you see how it curls over, and it looks more like it's a living form or a type of growth rather than a rock. See what I mean? They're just curled over, and very heaps of these tubes laying on the rocks. There's some more. These are actually white. Again, on their own, very hard to prove anything. There are some more that go over the rock surface. Now these were just on the ledge. Again, they could be just crystalline formations, but they're interesting because they're absorbing sunlight, and they're like tuberous processes right there on the rock ledge that we analysed. These are coming out of the hole. This one, it just appears to be coming out of that hole. That's why it's interesting. That's all I could probably do with that one. But I understand it is interesting because it appears to be coming out of that hole and sliding out. It doesn't prove anything, obviously. This one's good. It actually shows something very curved up that looks like it's a tubular type of process, but it could be a rock. But you see how that curve comes up and then it goes back down. It's like some sort of worm moving and using that as some sort of a motion. Can you see it? And it's got those rib-like patterns on it. that was interesting. And then we come obviously to the other video, which just shows something crawling. I'll just put that again. Obviously that thing looks like a life form that's camouflaged as a rock, and there's the crawl mark, and there's that curled up object that's starting to enter that crawl mark. And that's the only thing that I found that looks lifelike. Just revert to the original. And the other picture also was a magnification that shows that entering, and these holes up further up between the rock ledges, as though something comes out of those holes. But that's in the previous documentary. Yeah, so there's quite a few things which even look interesting if I don't enlarge them. They look lifelike. I'm not sure if they're growths or like worms coming out of the soil or something like that, or cactus type of life forms. But obviously if it's a dry surface like Earth, we would have things that would be like the desert on Earth. So you have cactuses and things that actually come out at night time to conserve moisture. And it'll be interesting if the Mars rover cameras, this is interesting as well, this just grew at 90 degrees. It'll be interesting if the Mars rovers could actually film at night time and use infrared imaging to see if there's anything out there moving at night time. So yeah, you got very interesting images here. And that's all.